Hi, Bolo here with Southeastern Mounted Shooters Association. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that have tons of questions on mounted shooting. It's one of the newer equestrian sports. It's a speed event and so forth. But lots of questions on this. So what we're going to do is offer an introduction to mounted shooting. It's going to be a three-part series. The first part, we're going to discuss guns, ammunition, and equipment. The second installment we'll do will be about the competition itself. And then the third part of our introduction to mounted shooting will be about the shooting horse. All right, so again, we're going to provide some as detailed information as we can. We're going to provide some links during this video that are helpful to find out more information about guns and ammunition and competitions and that sort of thing. So look for these during the course of the video, links on your screen. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be right back and we'll get started. Today's first installment, we're going to get going with guns, equipment, and ammo. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back with part one of Introduction to Mounted Shooting. Before we get started, I'd like to just kind of say how I got started in mounted shooting. I am a professional horse trainer, and I'm always looking for new ways and new things to expose my horses to, new ways to apply some training to them. About 5 years ago, a great group of people approached and said, "Y'all try mounted shooting." I went, "Well, okay." Not big on the competition, but I thought my first thought was a great opportunity to expose my horses to something new. Mounted shooting, guns, yes. So I wanted to do it. So I started rotating horses that I was training in, and then the more I came out, the more fun it became. Then the better you get, the more you enjoy it. Next thing you know, I'm buying guns and holsters. Next thing you know, I'm competing, and well, here we are. So, and plus being around such a great bunch of people in mounted shooting, that made it so much better. There's just so much fun. There's so much camaraderie and support in this business, and I just love it. So those two things, I couldn't stop it. And so here I am. I love it, still doing it. So first off, keep in mind that we're using real firearms. All right, and with all firearms, you want to take all the normal safety precautions that you would if you went to the local firing range. Hearing protection for yourself. Eye protection. Anytime, especially mounted shooting, you're moving forward through the air, you want eye protection. So that right off the bat. The biggest mystery, ammunition. Every time we do an exhibition or demonstration, there's always some little lady who runs for cover because they don't understand there is no projectile. This is simply there's a primer, there's the shell, the casing, and then the powder inside this casing. It's crimped on the end to hold that in. When we make that shot, the powder is expelled from the firearm. It has a range of about 20 feet, and then it dissipates. It's just enough to pop our target, which is a balloon. So again, the powder comes out. We're within range, 20 feet, pops a balloon. That's how that works. There is no projectile. And then this actually is another casing. This is for a rifle. It's a bit longer, as you see, than the pistol. It's the same setup. It's just designed for the rifle. With our group, we do a lot of training, and what's nice about this, we have we can load these with lesser powder. In other words, if we have a new horse, we may just use the primer only and no powder. And then as the horse acclimates to the sound, we can increase the load We call it to a quarter load, to a half load, all the way up to a full load. That's a really nice way of acclimating the horse to the sound, because you want to be careful when you're training a horse in little steps. Horse training 101, do things in little steps to make sure the horse, once a horse gets accustomed to that sound, then you move it up, and it works very well for us. So the nice thing about this is we can adjust that. All right, for the okay, the firearms. All right, this is these are my firearms. These are 45 caliber single action revolvers. This is what's required for mounted shooting. These are Ruger new Vaqueros, but there are other manufacturers that have some nice products out there. And again, we'll put these links up so everybody can see these at some point during this video. All right. Single action simply means I have to pull this hammer back before I can pull the trigger. Single action. That's it. Of course, revolver. So then one of the modifications we have to make with mounted shooting typically is the tolerances here. All right, in here. And we want to increase those tolerances because the black powder can get a little messy and get sticky in here, so we want to make sure there's no issues with that buildup of the black powder. And then the other thing is the lowered hammer here. A lot of the mounted shooters love the lowered hammer. Not necessary, but it is favored because it makes it a lot easier when you're making quick shots quickly to cock the gun and fire. So the lowered hammer is one of the modifications. There is a restriction on grips, and we'll get into that maybe in the competition part, but basically this is the 45 caliber single action revolver, and this is something you'll need to get started in mounted shooting. All right, okay, we have the same thing with the rifle, and this the rifle class is one thing I've always enjoyed doing. Again, it's a 45 caliber. This particular is a Winchester Trapper. It is, again, 45 caliber, as I showed you. No difference in the pistol. Again, it has to be lever action style of rifle. This is what's required for competition, and that's it. So, all right. The holsters, the leather we use, this I've used quite a bit. It's called a chest rig. All right. It kind of goes over your head, and then it lays right here in your chest, and the guns are here. All right. So this is one of the options people like to use for holsters. I kind of like it because it keeps the guns kind of away from the saddle and my hands when I'm with the horse. So this is a nice option as far as holsters for your gun. A lot of people just like the belt style of holsters. Works just fine. Whichever one is your preference is good. But you need to notice this holster, there's two guns, and they're both on the same, if I'm right-handed, they're aimed the same direction. All right, you can position those however you want. So that's essentially it. So we covered the ammunition. It's 45 caliber, essentially Hollywood blanks. All right, single action revolvers, lever action rifles, and holsters that you need to do that, to get that started. So these are the things that you need to kind of get started in mounted shooting. Now with our group, we're with the Southeastern Mounted Shooters Association in Central Florida, and we actually have loaner guns that we can loan someone if they want to try it out. We have loaner equipment we give to new people who want to try it out. So you may not have to make that investment initially. If you go to a good club, they'll help you out that way. But otherwise, you're going to need the proper guns, the proper leather, and the proper protection equipment just to get started in mounted shooting. But believe me, it's well worth it. So, all right, that covers this segment. All right, our next segment is going to be about the competition itself. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of actually what it entails to compete in mounted shooting. And again, the third part of this introduction to mounted shooting will be about the shooting horse. We save that for last because that's probably going to be the most interesting, I imagine. So anyway, all right, I appreciate you watching. I hope this is helpful, and stay tuned for part 2 mounted shooting competition.